Hello guys, so today's meta principle number 15. The center isn't just the middle four squares, but a more abstract concept that diminishes as it radiates from the board's central point. A very beautiful quote, direct quote from Anam Dan Heisman. You've heard the name a lot. Yeah, that person is a genius. Anam Dan Heisman is a genius. Yeah, so what does he mean by this? So the center isn't just the middle four squares. It's a more abstract concept. Um, you can think of this kind of reminds one of the dichotomy that exists in psychology between categorical and dimensional constructs of personality. Okay, what do I mean? Um, so you have categorical constructs of personality that say, for example, narcissistic personality disorder. You either have it or you don't. Dimensional constructs, they say you can have a bit of narcissistic personality disorder, a lot, a real lot, extreme, a minor amount, in between, half. So that's dimensional. It kind of exists on a continuum. So this is the same if you apply it to the central squares. And actually, let me show you what I mean. So these are the central squares, right? The four central squares. Categorically, you can think these are the only central squares, as well as the extended center, which is C4, C5, and F4, and F5. You can make out, F5, F4. You can make out these from the coordinates on the right side and the bottom side of the board. So this is the categorical approach. The dimensional approach, it tells you this square over here, the square on B5, for example, this is a less central square than the one over here on D5. And this square over here on A5 is even less central than the one on B5. So there's this kind of focal point in the middle of the board and kind of radiates ever so slightly. So what's the point behind the principle? There's a very important point. A lot of principles arise from this meta principle. For example, capture toward the center. That's a very important principle that arises out of this meta principle, because if you have a piece over here, it's better than it being over here, or a pawn. And for that reason, if you have a pawn over here and it has the option to capture like this or to capture like this, it will in general want to capture toward the center. It will want to play c takes d6 and not c takes b6. So you kind of move toward the center. That's more important. In the center you have more mobility. Why is the center so important more philosophically? Because from the center you can go to the sides of the board more quickly. If you're on one side of the board, let's say over here, it takes you a lot of time to move right over here. But if you're in the center, you can move here quickly, and you can move to the other side quickly as well. So that's why this principle is so important. It's more useful to think of the center as a dimensional construct. Now in psychology too, I think in general people are favoring dimensional constructs of personality more so nowadays, but that's a different topic for another day. Okay guys, so that's it for the explanation of the reasoning. Now a small section on the associated principles. So for the associated principles, going to be a bit of a short section, quite a bit. So all principles related to the center are associated with this meta principle. This meta principle is the basis of all such principles. And most noteworthy of these meta principles, or these principles, is capture toward the center. It is based on this exact meta principle. So yeah, with that, I hope you got something out of this video, guys. Very important concept. Remember dimensional constructs instead of categorical constructs. So with that, take care.